Welcome to the Show Me How podcast. I'm John Skurris.
And I'm Stephanie Weber.
And we're here to entertain you and teach you about commercial real estate and residential real estate.
Before we get into it, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was very nice. Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very...
Thank you, veterans. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, everyone. It was nice 4 days. Alex is back from college.
Nice.
So we're adjusting to that new welcome individual into our home.
So you have three boys in the house now.
Three of us. Well, Grizzly.
Oh,
Four of us.
Grizzly.
Brett, Alex, Grizzly, myself, yes.
Yes.
So it's pretty full home.
Yeah.
Full house, as I think with the old episode or TV show was. And we're having a great time. We're adjusting, as I said. So Alex is a different being than Brett. He's a sophomore. Now he's a junior.
He's a junior.
He passed his horrifying calculus test in his calculus class, which is one of the hardest in the nation, apparently. So it's 5 credit hours, and he thought he was he thought he was going to fail it flat out. And I kept calling him to encourage him. He had a test 6 weeks ago. I'm like, you can do it, you can do it. He ended up getting a B on it. And then he had his final, and he got a B on it again, which raised his grade to a C minus, which I didn't even know they calculate your GPA.
That's awesome, though, in the hardest class in America.
Yeah, one of the hardest. It's like the top 10.
Yeah.
Brett had the way we know this, we've heard about the rumors of it. It's like a known nightmare over the campus. People have to take it, and they get 80% failure rate or something.
That's encouraging.
Well, they want to keep it one of the elite schools for business, so
right.
they kind of use it as a weeding out class. And Brett had a tutor from, I think it was Duke, and she's a mathematical major, and she's tutoring him, and she's like, this is your test? This is a nightmare. She's going through it going, this is one of the hardest classes she's ever seen.
Wow.
And Brett did not pass his class. Brett, no, he got a D, but it's 5 credit hours. You can't keep that on your record, so he had to take it over.
Oh, God.
And do it again, which is brutal.
At least
ruined his summer.
Yeah, you have to take it over, but you at least know the material going into it the second time.
I took it twice, too. I didn't take the hardest class in the nation, and it was a horror story. So it was very difficult at Northern Illinois. But anyway, now we're adjusting. So we're happy. He's happy. He got through it all. He's going to visit his mother in Montana soon, but we're adjusting to his dietary requirements, which is quite a challenge because basically he has none. I think he'll eat cardboard. I haven't tried it yet. But I'm debating.
I just think you could get frozen pizzas and call it a day.
I can't feed him like that. I feel terrible.
I know, but I think
he even gets a little bitchy about it. He's like, he won't say anything. He's the most passive aggressive. I know you're aggressive, Alex.
He's not aggressive.
Attitude. No, he says he doesn't mind, but I could tell he does a little bit, right? So I try and mix it up for him. Nice. But trying to get him to pick a meal, it's like an act of Congress. I'm like, come on. What do you want? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, I have to name things. Would you like Greek, Mexican, Spanish, Italian, Chinese? Oh, he did say no to the Chinese, though.
He didn't say no.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's been very impossible to figure out what he wants to eat, and it's always a chore. It's like I have to throw out a bunch of options. And
is it like one big frat house in your house now?
It's hideous. It's so bad. There's stuff everywhere. I mean, first of all, Brett lives like a hobo, a wealthy hobo.
We love
I guess.
You, Brett.
A hobo with clothing stacked.
Oh yeah, dirty.
It's 3 feet high. No, I think it's combined, clean and dirty. I don't think there's any one scenario. I think it's both. It's just too cumbersome to hang it up.
Oh,
which I'm not a fan of hanging up either. I could do laundry till the cows come home. I do not like hanging things and folding them. I do it, and I do a really good job when I do it, but it's like the last thing I want to do. How do you organize
yourself if you don't hang it?
You don't. You leave it hanging on a chair, let it de-wrinkle, and then it kind of stays there for a month.
So it's like when you have the exercise bike in your room and you used to hang your clothes off.
Exactly.
Nice.
We use a couple of chairs around the dining room table for that purpose.
Oh, now
But
I know.
now
what
it's shoes everywhere, and they do not smell good. And you have clothes, and we have towels, and we have. I'm not kidding.
the towels are the worst.
Their socks are actually worse than the towels that they're underwear, but towels are not good. I cleaned some today. So
Towels.
I try and keep on them. I'm trying to teach them how to be young men. Trying to get over my hook or my weakness of not hanging up the clothes.
So they do learn by what you do.
I know. And I've been building the house. I spent 7 hours doing lawn care. On Monday, I almost killed myself. I didn't take a break because I had to get the house ready for new Airbnb guests. So I cleaned up the whole outside. I was gone for a month during the rainy time, and so I get back, all weeds, no grass.
Brett didn't weed?
I asked Brett, and Brett won't complain, but you can tell he's like not approving the way the yard looks. I'm like, I told him before I left, I go, look, I'm going to be gone. It's going to be raining. We're going to have a nightmare here. Please call a landscaper and get somebody to handle landscaping while I'm gone. And he didn't do it. I didn't follow up on him either, so it's partially my fault. But anyway, so we didn't get it done. Now I have weeds, and it took me 7 hours to clean up the front. It was 7 hours. It was unbelievable. So a lot of chores. Folding is coming next. I'm going to do the folding this weekend.
Folding is coming next. So when we have our podcast next week, we will give you an update on how John did with the boys in folding.
I'm gonna have to.
Are you going to get Brett fold all his mounds? Or
Yes, I've talked to him about that. I don't know how well that's going to go. It is. They use the complaint about being a tight space with 3 of us there with clothing, but I'm going to do my best to get him back on track.
Well, it is a tight space, but it is also free.
It is free. That's true.
So
I could force him. I don't like being the grumpy old dad who hounds on him, but I know I'm too easy on them. So in some regards, I'm too easy. Although, Brett has a girlfriend, so I'll just go into this now.
Oh.
And he's had her for a while. And then I find out Julie, his mother, comes to town. And, I'm going out to dinner with Brett and his girlfriend. I'm like, what? Excuse me? Who's going where? And so,
you weren't invited?
No. Well, I wouldn't want to go
necessarily
with Julie. But not that I don't like her, but keep the peace, keep us separate. But so I pressed Brett a little bit. I'm like, what's up with that? Well, I don't know. Then he says, I pressed him last week. This is like a month ago. She came into. I pressed him last week. I'm like, so when am I going to meet this girlfriend of yours? She's like, I'm sparing her. I said, look, I know I can be intense, but and I will be judgy on her a little bit, but
you're going to be judgy.
Well, he's my son. I got to make sure he lines up correctly.
No.
I want to make sure he makes the right decision, but she seems like she's a winner. So
she's a good girl.
Her name's Katie. Hi, Katie. You seem very nice.
So is he ever?
I met her in the car. That's as close as I gotten.
The closest, and then he skidded away.
She went to pick him up. I was like, "Oh, she's downstairs." She's like, "You can see him all anxious." I'm like, "I'm going down to say hello, so you can't stop me." And she's like, "Oh my God, it finally happened."
Oh, so she's been wanting to meet you too?
Yeah. Brett's been holding me out. I'm like, I'm a big surprise.
I'm a big surprise.
It's like when you learn about his laundry incapabilities,
right?
Then he exposes me and realizes that he has a wonderful father. And
nice.
So make you still stay in love with him.
Okay, so more to come on meeting the girlfriend too.
That's right.
So I'm glad you had a good weekend. I had not as an eventful weekend. I golfed. I had fun.
Well, golfing is great. We golfed too.
Yeah.
It was terrific.
It was good.
Except for the
stop.
Foursome in front of us was very slow.
We're not going there. That's another story for another time. What are we talking about today?
All right. So the name of this episode is how to buy a multifamily, live in one, and rent the rest of it out for you, so you're making an income. So wanted to introduce you a little bit to the benefits of multifamily ownership versus single family. So we put together a little bit of information on what the benefits are, how to get into it, what some of the loan structures are, how to be a landlord a little bit.
Right. Because that scares people, right?
A lot of people are. It's funny. I mean, it does take work. I spent 7 hours cleaning my
Right.
lawn, as I said. So you can just hire people to do it all. I like to do some of it myself, and then some of it I'm cheapskate, and I don't want to pay people to do certain things because I know how to do them. It's the worst.
Well, I think that goes back to my dad. You know, he owned multi, 3 flats and all, and he didn't believe in hiring anyone. It was us. You know?
It was us, which I try and do.
Right.
Brett has an active complaint that he's working 40 plus hours a week, which I can comprehend, and Alex gets dumped on because of that. So,
well, I mean, my dad didn't care what you were doing.
No. Well, we didn't work like that either.
Right.
So
well, I don't think if he would have been around when we were
15, 16.
Yeah. But he didn't care. He's like, just do it. No. I'm in the middle of work. The funniest, my dad's story, I'll have to tell this one because this gives you a full picture of Bill Stanley. So I get my first job at the Best Western River North. I'm in sales. I'm having, like your first big girl job. You're getting paid some real money. And all of a sudden, this was no cell phones back there. So Warren, you guys are very lucky that you have cell phones. I turn in the sales office, and who is standing there? My dad.
No.
And he says to me, I don't want to pay for parking downtown. I have to go see my lawyer. I need you to come sit in the car.
At your job?
My job.
While you're working?
I go, Dad, I don't think I could do that. He goes marching in the director of sales office.
He did
Bob,
not.
I forgot his last name. Bob, you don't mind if I take Stephanie for about an hour? She's got to sit in the car for
Come
me.
on.
So where to God?
No, he did not do this.
He did.
What did Bob say?
Bob said, sure, no problem.
That had to be a good discussion afterwards.
We never talked about it.
No, you and Bob?
Me and Bob never
Did
talked about it.
Did Dad come back for more parking support?
Well, and then my dad pulls up the panel station wagon at the hotel. It wasn't just like he had the Griswold mobile. So I'm like, I cannot believe he just did that. And where did I sit for an hour? In the car, so he didn't have to pay for parking. So there you guys go. If you ever think you have it bad, what if your dad just showed up at your work?
Oh my gosh. I wanted to do that to my son so badly.
Right. So tell him he has it easy. Give him that story.
All right.
So anyway.
That's enough family for now. So where are we going?
We're talking about multifamily, which was near and dear to my dad.
So buying a multifamily house is like moving in with strangers, except they're paying the rent and you get to pick who they are, which is true. So, you get to be selective on your, within reason, right? On your tenants, who's going to move in there. If you have under 3 flat, there's no requirements on who your tenants are.
Right.
For 3 units.
And just when you're looking at the pet policy, I think I know we don't have this in there, but it just came to mind.
That's a good point.
If it is a service pet, you cannot say no.
She keeps bringing this up. I don't know why.
Why?
Are you trying to make Rudy a service pet or something?
I am trying to make Rudy a service pet. Yeah,
she's the one that brought 3 dogs to Florida that were out of their minds.
They were fine.
They were not fine.
They were all service animals.
Service animals during the emergency rescue stage.
Shush. But they do. If it's called a service animal, you cannot say no. Just for the record.
Okay. So we all know.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, go ahead. You help.
No, you discriminate. Go ahead.
So you don't have to wait to get rich to invest. A duplex is a great way to start.
Exactly.
Investing. So I love 3 flats, but it does take more money. And we're going to give you some details on the type of investment you're going to have to make up front to give you an idea of that. But the returns on a 3 flat are significant.
Right.
So we'll go into that a little bit too.
And how to find a good multifamily property.
Yeah, rehab versus stabilized. Most people won't want to do a rehab because Stephanie, I grew up with her father and, her brother who's in construction, giving us some tips and learning that way. I love rehabbing. It's, it's like you want to do that because there's just a tremendous benefit to taking a property. Like, we bought our property for $305,000 in 1998. I think we put 120 into it, so it's 425. And it's a 3 flat, 1888 multifamily, 3 unit. Beautiful shape because I've taken care of it. And a single family, terrible, broken down building right behind us.
Right.
Just sold after rehabbing. $1,400,000.
That's craziness.
It's smaller than it may be square footage equivalent of my building, but it's just.
But
insane.
it's a single family house,
and it's wood. It's a wood structure. My garage is brick. It's just amazing how much benefit I've had.
Well, I
since
think
1998, that's a huge return.
Well, and I think when we're looking at multifamily properties too, remember like those properties will help you through the appreciate, and they also help you through the hard times. Like, what if something changes in your income and it goes and fluctuates? Those rents are always
sick
coming.
or something. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even brought up the fact, pardon me, that it's 1.4 million, so I could probably sell it somewhere around there. But I'm making rent every single month,
right?
So I make thousands of dollars in rent.
Above and beyond.
No, they do not.
No,
They're paying
they do not.
$9,000 a month for their single family.
That's crazy. I just think it's crazy.
Roughly. So anyway, we'll learn about stabilized versus rehab. We'll talk about that. Stabilized basically means it's fully leased, market rate rents, although it's also nice to buy something with under market rate rents. So
right.
Stabilized with room is a really big bonus. And then minimal repairs needed. So, you don't want to have to go in and do the whole electrical system or all the plumbing or something like that.
But when you're looking like renovating the kitchen or something, also look at it as, because it's a rental, if you just put all new appliances and paint the cabinets, can that work,
Well, I mean, I love Apt, so I'm just going to plug
too.
them. I've used them for years. You just go and buy a whole kitchen set for $3,000-$4,000, install it, it's ready to go. You got a washer, dryer, everything matches, looks great, and has a warranty on it as well. I don't love today's appliances because they tend to break a lot more than I have. I have a washer machine and air conditioning HVAC systems from 1998 still. Okay. And I called Apt, and they're like, "Oh, you should replace it." I'm like, "I need to get it repaired." So that's why I do stuff myself.
Since we're telling funny stories, when we first started this podcast, we were doing it at John's house. I come over one day, and his entire washing machine, was it the dryer or the washing machine?
This is both, I think. They
both.
Were both out.
On the kitchen floor. He's decided he's now an HVAC person, and he was going to fix it. Oh, whatever. Yeah. Whatever you were doing.
I did fix it. So they're telling me. So
oh, my God, Lord.
Apt is like, those are supposed to last 7 years. Well, first of all, mine's commercial. Second of all, this is like a 1998 version. I'm like, I'm not giving it away. I'm not buying a new one. And they're like $6,000 for the new ones nowadays. And I know they're made like crap. So I just ordered all the parts, shocks. Believe it or not, a washer machine has shocks.
I know when it goes
new
around.
New motor, all this stuff. Put it in myself. Super easy to work on, for me anyway.
Did you YouTube it?
I did. Yeah, I did. I got all it's so easy. YouTube it, find it, install. It cost me $400. Thing's been running since 6 years now. So buy those appliances, get the good ones. It's an investment strategy. We're going way off the deep end here on the derivative topics, but I'm so proud of my utility.
He was very proud when I came back
experience.
A couple weeks later. It was working.
All right, what else? What to look for in the numbers in the neighborhoods, of course.
Right.
Questions to ask before making an offer, and then what makes a deal worth it. So,
right.
What makes it not worth it completely, right? So
exactly.
There's all these triggers that we'll go through, and we'll help you figure that out.
And then that multifamily buildings are only for investors.
So we have myths that people bring up. You don't have to be an investor. You don't have to do all the work yourself, but you also don't have to pay somebody to do all the work. So what I like to do is get somebody to come in, straighten it all out, fix it all up. Then you can maintain it.
Right.
So like putting weed killer down, stuff like that.
Right.
You don't need to pay a guy to come every week to do that stuff. Once you get it tightened up inside an apartment, all the paint done, the electrical fixed, maybe a new circuit breaker board or something like that done so it's upgraded. You don't want old wires and things like that. You got to be careful of that stuff. But if you could just upgrade the breakers and things like that, you could be good to go. You want to make sure the plumbing isn't a million years old and corroded and things like that. Although they do.
Oh, I have another electrical story. I'm full of stories today. I went to see a single family house. A friend of mine I was looking for them at that point. They didn't know if they wanted a condo, single family house. So I go to the realtor who happened to be from another real estate agency and on the North Shore usually. And I said to him, I'm like, oh, this still has fuses, right? And he's like,
the circular ones?
Yeah.
Round ones, screw in? Yeah.
Just
run.
Just put a new box on.
Yeah. No.
A breaker box and connect it. I said, well, what about the old wiring? Oh, you don't need to do anything with that.
Yeah, I mean, these are the bad realtors out there that don't have any idea and they have no business telling you anything like that. You know, that is not for them to do. No. You probably violated some rules too, by the way. And
I don't
put you at risk. Because if somebody followed that advice, you know, they could burn down their house.
I don't think he cared.
Well, you know, I'm sure he cared if he hurt somebody, right?
I'm sure he cared if he hurt somebody, but he didn't understand what I was saying. So that goes back to, again,
well, you're right. He probably was ignorant too. He didn't even know he was giving bad advice.
And if you're investing in any kind of real estate or in any kind of duplex, 3-flat or 4-plex, 4-flat, those are the key things. It's kind of like your car, right? You have to have good bones and maintain it. So you have to make sure the wiring's well. You got to make sure there's no lead pipes in the plumbing.
Yeah.
And replace all that, even though it's a cost. Asbestos. Some of it, no. I had asbestos flooring in my the house I just sold on Eastwood, and as long as you don't disturb it and put flooring over it, it's fine.
Right.
So there's all different kinds of ways of looking at it, but if someone tells you to do what I just said, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, always get a contractor to give you, second opinion, third opinion, first opinion.
And a good realtor will give you a good contractor.
Yeah. So now we'll go into different types of properties that you could look into. So a duplex, those are 2 units. Often the lower level will be a combined unit with a kind of a lower level basement and the first floor. And then the second floor will be an apartment for rent or vice versa. Depends on your needs, obviously. Triplex, again, first unit is basement, and then there's 2 stories above you, so 2 individual apartments above. 3-flat, which is my favorite. Oh, actually, 4-flat would be ideal.
Right.
But a 3-flat and a 4-flat are basically the same outline. It's 1 apartment per floor. Usually the first floor is going to be a little smaller because of, you know, the stairway and things like that. The second floor might be a little bit smaller too.
Right.
Third and fourth will be the maximum sized. But you can get greater rents for those higher floors.
Exactly.
And then you have a 4-plex and a 4-flat. So basically 4 units maximizes your rental income. It also keeps you still qualifying for residential loans.
Right.
So all of these fall in the residential loan category, which is critical because commercial loans are about a half point additional. So nowadays it's a huge thing. When I bought our place, my place, I'm trying to think. I think I have 3.25%. It may got I think it was up 3.75, but now it's 6.75.
Right.
And if it's a half point above, it's 7.25. So that just puts you in a really tough position. Your interest payments are very much higher, and you have to increase the rents. Although now in Chicago, rents are so high, I'm sure across the nation, that people are able to get by with this model. And you get specialize or apply for special loans and grants that'll help bring that price down a little bit.
There's a lot out there for first-time home, especially when you're doing, like you said, when you're investing in multifamily units, you know, for sure.
So, and again, why the strategy works, it's income while you're living there. So you're getting somebody else basically to pay your mortgage. And as I said, you know, as you pay this down and as you get the expenses sorted out over the first year for little upgrades that you have to do, perhaps, you know, new lock system, like a lot of locks, you want switch all the door handles so they're all the same, get a universal key, you know, which costs a little bit of money, but super convenient to do the whole house that way. Things like that, maybe fixing HVAC units, getting them upgraded, you know, you'll be in the green almost immediately, at least in the green versus what you would pay for your own rent at an equivalent apartment size, right?
And also what you're saying about what you'd pay for a house, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. A house is going to cost you a great deal more. You might have a ton of things you have to update on it. But again, with a 3-flat, I had a friend, your friend too, our friend Mark, who bought a 4-flat, and he was getting into a challenging time, and was talking to me about what he needed to do. I'm like, move into the smallest unit. You're a single guy.
Yeah.
Take that smallest unit until you get yourself righted, the ship righted. Rent out the bigger unit, which was he was in one of the biggest, most expensive units. And I said, downsize. And he's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm like, but he did it, and he got himself right-sized, and he made double the rent from the lower level unit. So he made another $1,000 a month.
And that makes a big deal.
Huge
it is
difference.
And I think that's what our friend Mark is a videographer, and he's awesome. He does a lot of cool stuff, but his income's up and down, up and down.
Yeah, he's an independent contractor.
Yeah, so that's a great way. He's got
got
3 other units paying to make sure that he's got his building.
And now, by the way, I haven't talked to him since the interest rates went up and all that, so I'm sure he's doing really well now because the rents have gone up and now it's stabilized, so I'm sure he's in great shape.
That was good advice.
Now, I'll give you a little example here. So I have a chart we created. It goes into some detail on the difference of getting an individual unit for yourself versus getting some of these investment properties. So again, buying a condo, you're going to look all these are 3.5% to 5% typical down payment,
right?
Especially if you get a FHA type loan program, qualifies. But in a condo, you'd have an HOA fee plus your mortgage. Also, there's no income potential while you're living there, obviously, and you're going to have $350 a month HOA fee. Plus, the down payment is somewhere around $15,000.
Right.
Single family, same situation. Your expenses go way up, though. No income potential. You only have the mortgage costs, but the down payments, again, somewhere about $16,000. Okay.
Yeah.
And the cost is a little bit more, about $50,000 over. At least these are general figures. We're not trying to stake out the prices of the market currently for this episode. Then you move into kind of where you can make money. You got the duplex, which is again offset by 1 unit's rent. It's a moderate income potential, and the down payment's about $20,000 to $22,000. So a little bit more money, but you're now getting a significant or a moderate improvement in your revenue stream. Now, these are the 2 I like the best. They're actually 4, but we'll put them into the same category. A triplex and or a 3-flat, same down payment, offset by 2 rents, and the down payment's about the same. It's $16,500 up to about $25,000 for that range. So somewhere around $21,000 down payment, but high income potential. Now you're making 2 units at least, and you could take, again, the smaller unit for yourself until you get more established, you make more money at your initial first job or whatever it is your situation is, and now you can move into a bigger unit. And then the fourplex or the 4-flat. Now, these, completely very, very high income potential. Your down payment's going to rise here at about $22,500 to $25,000. Could be even as high as $27,000 to $30,000 for a 4-flat. But you're getting, there is higher taxes for these units, but as long as you have the utilities divided, the tenants are all paying the utilities.
Right.
You're only paying your portion of the rent, which might be nothing. I mean, if you have 3 tenants, they might be covering your entire mortgage and your net operating, your operating expenses as well. So I love those options. It takes you longer to get into them. You also have to qualify for them, but there's different loan types that you can leverage to get into those. And I really suggest you really take a hard, long look at that. Now, my son wants to live downtown, Gold Coast, things like that, and Chicago, Millennium Park. It's $450 a unit per square foot there, and rentals go for somewhere to $2 to $3 in the outer neighborhoods. So,
And that's just for a studio, right?
No, it's $450 per square foot. It could be 3,000 square feet.
Oh.
It could be 1,000 square feet. It could be 500 square feet. So it's just relevant to the size of the unit you're getting to. That's the price on average.
And that's for a condo.
Doesn't go up or down much based on the size of the unit.
Is that a condo?
No, it's a rental.
Just a rental.
Rental, $4,500 for 1,000 square feet a month.
And you're letting him do this?
No, I'm just telling you that's the competition.
Wow. Okay.
He has out there. So, and a lot of kids coming out of college are they want to live down there. There's some ballers out there that are working for hedge funds or something, but they don't get paid very well. Until they're 3-4 years into the business, they're not getting paid enough to live in these places.
Well, I mean, again, living in a metropolitan area like Chicago, let's just be real.
Or New York or
Or
San
New
Francisco.
York or San Francisco. Like,
or,
mass transit is everywhere. You can go anywhere you want on the train if you want to. Or you can Uber. I think in the fact of living in Millennium Park or in Fulton Market in Chicago, no disrespect to them, but they're kind of like Vegas. They're not building these buildings for a non-for-profit. It's like they built these rentals, these huge rentals in Fulton Market. They're charging astronomical rates because they can get it.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking at it, are you paying them to be richer, or are you going to pay yourself to build equity?
I mean, if you have unlimited funds,
no one has
out.
unlimited funds.
Well, some people do. They do.
Who are they?
They're the people living in all those buildings I just told you about. A lot of them.
But I don't think they have unlimited funds. I think they do, and then
some do. You're right.
And then
You're
here's
absolutely
another nuance for you graduates. When you get those credit card applications in the mail or
Rip 'em
online, throw them in the garbage because they are stalking after you. They see you. They know you graduated. They know you're watching social media. They know you want the latest and greatest outfits.
Well, you know what? That's a good point. Let me just add on to that. People are wondering, can I qualify for a loan? Yeah, I always thought that too. I was like, I'm never going to qualify. Newsflash. You know what a banker's job is? Sales. It's to lend that money because they fractionalize it. And so what that means is if they get $1 million in deposits this week, they could loan $10 million or more.
Right.
So, and it isn't doing them any good sitting in the bank. So they want to loan you money. They're going to bend over backwards. Probably not as bad as they did in 2000s, early 2000s, where they were committing ridiculous fraud. But they do want to loan you money. So,
but they do want to make sure your debt to income ratio is not crazy. So.
No, I mean, listen, I'm just telling you, everyone's going to be different. You should watch out for your debt to income ratio, even more potentially than a banker, because the banker's job is to loan money. If his bank lowers their standards and you agree to it, you could get locked into a bad deal. So it's important to make sure you look at those figures, not count on the banker to do it for you. Okay.
And then one other thing on that, when you do pay off that credit card, do not close that credit card.
Okay, we're going too far down the credit card road. That's a whole credit statement.
I understand, but I understand.
Yeah, do not do that, but that's not
good. Okay, back to the 3 flats.
All right, so where to look? Now, I'm handing this over to you.
Where
You're
to look
very good at this, and this is
right.
Really important to understand what resources you have. Your best resource is going to be us.
Right.
Your brokers, your smart, intelligent, experienced brokers who are going to do this. However, to help us do our job better, you need to bring something to the table.
Right.
Right? Not just ideas and wishes and things like that.
Well, I think there's 2 ways to look at this. Okay, so if you are a person that's looking for an investment rehab type of situation, most of those I belong to a million Facebook groups, but most of those opportunities require cash. Like you can't buy them unless they're all messed up and you have to rehab them, which is you can get some really good deals on some brick 3 flats, 2 flats, but it's got to be cash. So if you're not looking at that as you want to do a total rehab and you're looking at just ways to look at what's out there, there is Zillow, Redfin, Realtors.com. But remember also that stuff is dated. Like it's not always up to date. Like if someone will say to me, I saw a property on Zillow and I go look it up on the MLS and it's already contingent, but Zillow hasn't updated it. Yeah. So remember that. Facebook, Craigslist, different forums that you look at for three flats. There's definitely Facebook groups that you could belong to. And then once you see something, let us know. We can look it up.
Yeah, and again, use us to verify this data.
Yeah.
But gather the data on your own so you get a good feeling for it. Because again, if you have a realtor, it's not us, or a real estate broker who's not us.
Right.
And you already have an idea, you can get an idea if this realtor knows what they're doing.
And also,
right? So if their
neighborhood
data is way off
right.
from where you're seeing it and they can't justify their information, you're going to know pretty quick if they even have any idea what they're doing. So,
and neighborhoods that you want to be in for a rental, you also want to look at it. If there's properties by owner, that doesn't mean you can't use your broker to go and talk to them, because sometimes by owner, they're still working with brokers. They just don't want to have a selling broker sell their house.
Yeah, they're going to make you pay the bill most likely, but
yeah.
It's worth it. You don't want to go in there with some shyster potentially who's trying to hide all the problems. I'm selling it as is, but not divulging to you that the floor is cracked, the foundation's cracked.
Right. The plumbing's
there's
broken.
A tree that grew through the drain. 100 things, honestly.
Yeah.
You got to watch out for those FISBO, we call them, situations. Bring a broker in on your end, pay them out of your pocket if you can't get the seller to pay.
Yeah.
But it's going to be to your best interest.
And it's also, they have to do all the disclosures just like in a residential single family house.
They do, but they don't know, and they'll claim ignorance, and there's a ton.
No,
it's
I'm
very
just saying they
dangerous
should be doing that
to
too.
work with,
So
for sale by owners, you should be able to. You always use a broker to represent you. Make sure you're not violating rules and laws and things like that, and you're divulging information that's relevant so that people are buying a house that they can rely on. You don't want to make a quick buck on somebody's misery.
No, and also when the zoning...
That's the biggest purchase of your life.
Yes.
So you need to do it usually, not for everyone, but in most cases. So do it with responsibility.
And if someone lists, especially by owner, if they list it as a 3 flat and it looks like, I don't know if that garden unit is part of that. That's, again, that could be an illegal garden unit. So that's another where your broker comes in to help you identify.
Well, that's a zoning issue. I mean, the broker can give you an idea,
right?
But ultimately, it's a zoning or
right.
attorney issue. But they can start pointing you in the right direction if
exactly.
you have a good broker.
Exactly.
Now, regarding criteria, whenever you're looking for a place, you got to look at all the things that are important to you. You're paying for taxes that go to things in this category that don't necessarily apply. You want streets that aren't breaking up, at least I do. You want schools that are decent if you have kids. I don't anymore. I wouldn't care about that. I want more kind of a fun vibe area like where I am, Logan Square. Transit access, if you're working
right.
downtown, I don't use that too much, but it's lovely. When I go to the airport and Brett deserted me and did not pick me up.
He didn't?
Totally.
Oh, my God.
Totally deserted me.
What happened?
I sent him the information. He's like, well, send me your ticket. I sent it to him an email. He didn't look at it because he's always texting. And I'm like, well, I sent it to you. Well, I didn't come. He didn't call me, nothing. He was just using the excuse not to come. Now, to his case in this one situation, the traffic was horrible that day.
So you take the blue line?
I took the blue line, and it was awesome. Taking the blue line from O'Hare to Logan Square is just great. Took it right there. He came, picked me up from the blue line, which I didn't even, so that was nice of him. But it costs $275. It's like a $35, $40 taxi ride.
Yeah.
And you're sitting in traffic, miserable.
Oh, I
enjoyed myself on the train. I talked to the train conductor.
Is there still a train? I thought they got rid of those.
No, it was one guy up in front.
Okay.
More of a technician than a conductor, I'd say. But, had a little conversation with a few people and listened to my music and podcast or whatever.
It probably was quick, 20 minutes.
It was quicker than the traffic.
Yeah.
Absolutely quicker than the traffic. And I think it was $275.
It's nothing, I think.
It cost nothing.
Yeah.
Although I defunded his transit card the next morning. He missed his train. That's your payback right there, son. And he was late for work as a result. But
anyway. Well, should have picked you up.
So anyway, transit, parks and green spaces. I love to be by park.
Yeah.
Also, you get added value for certain tenants if they want to be there. If they have animals and you want to be pet friendly, which is, I have an issue with I think my tenant's dog is scratching my 135-year-old floors, which is going to be an issue. I love the dog, but you can hear scratching every now and then. So you have to consider what kind of
Have you looked up there and seen what it's
No, they're a little like secret squirrel. I don't get to go up in their place so much.
Are you sure it's not a squirrel?
No, they're like Secret Squirrel, which is a cartoon. It's very funny. He's a character in Secret Squirrel.
Oh, I never watched it.
Come on, Mike. No Secret Squirrel.
No one
references.
knows Secret Squirrel.
It was Underdog.
Underdog. I know Underdog.
Squirrel. Well, Secret Squirrel was in the movie. Anyway, they're a little like Secret Squirrel. So they don't want me up there. They don't want me traveling around. So I give them their privacy. But I hear the scratching. Anyway, so you have to decide what you're going to invest in, what challenges you're going to have, what kind of floor do you have, is it carpet? And, you got to think about security deposits and things like that. If people have pets, they're much more likely to damage your place. So, yeah, consider that. But anyway, back to parks and green spaces. A lot of people where I brought up pets is because you like to be near a park if you have a dog.
And that could be a selling point, too, for when you're going to find a tenant. I'm close to a park. I'm close to everything.
I'm close to a park and a school because the kids
school
need to go
and the
play.
transit. Yeah,
I mean that was huge for me. I had to be. I was right by Horner Park, where we had our place on Waveland. It was perfect for kids, and it's just awesome. Anyway, crime trends. Spotcrime.com, neighborhoodscout.com. I've never used these because I have services with my CoStar subscription that provides for stuff like that. But again, you want to know the crime trends, what's going on. There's big carjackings back in 2020, 2021, even in Lincoln Park. And so you want to know about that stuff. Future development trends. You might want to go talk to the alderman, talk to them a little bit. It's a little bit of a deeper dig. If you're really into that, that could be something for you to do. That'd be important. Because really, if neighborhoods are like developing, like seriously now, there's a big push for this new, what is it called? I guess a policy. It's some type of policy in Logan Square area the adjacent park to the south. I forgot the name.
Wicker Park?
No.
Buffdown?
No, the big park to the south where Riot Fest used to be.
Oh, Douglas Park.
No, that's where it is today. Oh. Anyway, the one over on North Avenue in Clybourne. Anyway.
I can't remember.
You now have to pay a fee to the city if you tear down a single-family house. $60,000.
Wow.
I think minimum fee. So I wouldn't invest there. I would not buy a single family there because if you decide to sell it, it's going to be a $60,000 deduction off the value of your property because the developer is going to have to pay that $60,000.
Right.
It's coming out of your pocket. It isn't coming out of his. I mean, it'll come out of everyone's pocket except, you're going to get hit. So today, looking at that, I would back out of a deal for a single family over there right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So things to be to think about.
Okay.
Now, what makes it a good deal? Rental units with private access and utilities is going to be important. It's move-in ready with cosmetic rehab potentially only.
Right.
On the first day. So replace some bathrooms, kitchen, stuff like that. And your rental income covers 70 to 90% of your total monthly costs. I mean, come on.
That's great.
That's amazing. So you save for another 6 months or a year, and then you're just laughing to the bank for 20 years plus, your whole life. So I've owned that unit since 1998. So we're at, 27 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. It's treated great. Now it's worth apparently a lot of money according to the recent values in the neighborhood. So very exciting. So,
what are some red flags?
Well, I don't like shared laundry. You said you didn't mind it.
That's what we had at Sacramento. I didn't mind it.
The problem is that your utilities aren't divided up and you're stuck in that format and you can't convert them into condos.
Only with shared laundry. The only thing that's you pay for is that utility for the laundry.
No, well, it's using space that you could rent It's also not able to be sold as a condo. So if you ever wanted my building, I divided up into condos so I could sell all 3 units as individual condos. If you have a shared laundry, it means you don't have laundry in each of the units, and you're never going to be able to condo it out if you wanted to. So it's less flexibility. Now, it's a big investment. It's, initially, when I did years ago, it wasn't so much, but $3,000 to $5,000 to get utilities separated out. Then you have to buy the washer and dryer for every unit. You have to carve out space in the units for those washer and dryers. But I would never leave a shared ever.
Shared laundry. That's a good idea.
Never. Major structural issues, you got to look out for those. Have somebody, again, a good realtor give you a tip on what to look for, when to call something out, and then bring in an inspector to make sure that they look these things up. Or a structural
engineer to look at it.
And then, structural engineer, that's a little heavy, but you don't really need a structural engineer in most cases. But if it's a big commercial building, you would, but not in something like this. You just get a building inspector, and they should be enough.
Okay.
And then, unless it goes too far and they ask for a structural engineer, then you take their advice. But don't go right to a structural engineer. It's a waste of money. Under permitted work. So if somebody built, like somebody we know with the name starting with D and last name ending with Anley, who's in Italy right now. When we lived in his dad's 6 flat, which really was kind of an 8 flat if it was done right, but there's...
No, that was my dad's basement, remember?
It was 6 flat, I guess, with 2
7.
duplexes.
It was actually at the garden unit, too. I don't know if that was legal.
No, those 2 should have been duplex up.
Right, well, he wouldn't do that.
And then you had 4 units above, 2 on the first floor, and then Dean created his own master bedroom and hot tub on the roof of the building. Roof.
Yes.
So it's 2 3 flats that were connected, but they're the same structure, really. In the center area, he built a hot tub, which is like a death pit, by the way.
On the roof.
On the roof, but over the center hole, there was a
venting
with the
hole,
windows.
and oh my God,
that was like 10 by 10, and he built a structure for this hot tub to be over it. Now they're drinking vodka all hours of night. God knows what else.
God knows.
And they're up.
Music.
People are balancing on this thing. I can't believe. Thank heavens.
I can't believe no one died.
Nobody fell off that thing.
I'm really shocked.
It was like, And then Stephanie just told me this week, I think yesterday.
Yeah.
That Dean got fined $20,000, but he passed it on to Lolo.
Lolo paid
Dean,
it.
you scoundrel.
Yeah, scoundrel.
Scoundrel. Passed it on to Mom.
Because he knew that my mom would freak out that she got the notice from the city. So, and how did he get busted, John?
By throwing parties with naked women on the roof of the building and loud music.
No, but who didn't like that? The neighbor. Shocking.
The neighbors. So.
And the neighbor reported
usually you want
illegal...
to own a multifamily because you don't have to deal with the condo associations because they're terrible.
And then the neighbor reported him to the building inspector.
When you're going to violate these building codes, you'll get called out.
They asked him, did you get a permit to build that structure?
The right answer. Well, I won't go into that.
Deer in the headlights.
He didn't answer properly. There's a way to answer that correctly, but anyway. So, if you have a lean-to or something like that, or
unpaid
extra
work,
room put in, or a deck built in the front, or a window built out on the side, any little unusual-looking structure compared to the rest of the buildings in the area, you might want to look into it a little deeper because you don't want to get caught with that. My friend Dan built his house in Texas, Austin, and he built this big deck. And it's like a $30,000 nightmare for him now. I think it's $35,000 he ended up paying to get these people because it never got, he hired the wrong contractors from the get-go, Dan. I told you that. And then he built this thing way too big and, it's only for him. And it's a requirement by them that they can't have too much pavement taking up the green area. Oh. And his roof area to his green area was too little. And so he had to get, tear some of the deck out maybe. Anyway, all this stuff can happen. So look at decks in the backyard and make sure you're not getting into a situation where you have to pay to have it removed. Now, usually if you leave well enough alone, nobody's going to say anything. But you never do know. And if it is a violation, you should get some money back from the owner before they merrily march off into the future.
Exactly.
So those are the red flags.
Pro
tip, drive the neighbor at night, Look for lighting, street activity, and parking cleanliness and availability. So those are all good pieces of information to look for. All right. All right. Next, key terms. So we're giving you an example here, running the numbers on a multi-unit and how you could benefit. So in this case, you have gross rent, which is most likely what you're going to be charging for rentals.
Right.
It's total income from all your units. Your operating expenses are your property taxes, your maintenance, utilities, things like that go into it. Now, again, with gross rent and in apartments, usually your tenants are going to pay those utilities, but you do have common area that you're going to have to take care of, like your hallway and your backyard, things like that. And then you come up with your net operating income, which is your gross rent minus the operating expenses. And that's your NOI. So depending on the type of property and the way you're going to sell it, you could be as an income property and you do a cap rating valuation on it. So a property like this could be 8.5 to 9.5 cap rate. So you divide the $1 million by 9.5 in revenue, or $100,000 by 9.5% cap rate, you get $950,000 valuation, right?
Right.
So that's how that would go. And I could help you with that. If you have questions, just send over your questions. Cash flow, NOI minus your financing costs. That's what cash flow is. Cap rate, NOI minus your purchase price. And then unit mix. It's your layout with your bedrooms of each unit and your bathrooms.
Right.
Okay. So in this example, we had a triplex, which is purchased 20 years ago for $495,000. It has 2 units for rent at $1,750 each, which is, again, probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it comes to about $3,500 a month. Your owner lives in 1 unit. The monthly costs end up around $600, which I think is probably a little high. Well, not with insurance and stuff
Not
like
with
that,
insurance, taxes, and all that stuff.
And your NOI ends up being $2,900 a month. So financing at 6.75% on a $457,000 loan, 30-year fixed amortization, ends up being $3,080 a month, including taxes and insurance. So the result is you're down minus $180 a month for cash flow, negative cash flow, but the owner lives for under $200 a month.
Right.
So win-win, winner, chicken dinner.
Right.
So, the goal is to break even or better. But, again, if you're at a duplex, that's all you can afford, all you want to be patient enough to afford, you're probably not going to get there, right?
But that's okay.
It's okay. I'm just saying this example wouldn't really apply to a duplex. 3 flat, 4 flat, you're in the money. Now, it could, and you should always crunch the numbers.
Yeah.
But that's the importance of doing the math and understanding it yourself. Break even or better, low living costs, that's the critical thing. And we're going to provide you a multifamily deal calculator to help you work that through.
Yeah, we'll post that on the website.
All right. Now, why don't you go into this for us, Stephanie? This will be your big contribution. Due diligence and checklist.
Okay.
Come on. This is a good section.
I grew up with a father who had multi-units all over the place. So I kind of, the big things are understanding the tenants on the lease. The expiration dates are really important.
They're important to buyers too, so that's why it's important. And you also want to line them up. I think.
Do you have long-term leases that are under market value? Are you on month-to-month? What month-to-month means in the rental market is you need to give them 30 days notice that, okay, we're not doing this anymore. So that is important to know because people don't understand month-to-month. Sometimes confirming that it's a legal multi-unit property, like I said, if it doesn't look like it, and you have questions, definitely use your realtor because what looks like a skunk usually is a skunk, right?
Well, ask your realtor, but use an attorney.
Right. Well, ask your realtor to pull it up, and then we can go back in the history, and you can look to see if it was a multi-unit.
No, you don't know. Sometimes
but you can
they've been using them. You can do it, but you need to verify it with the city. You can't, the records in MLS are not guaranteed.
No, verify with the city.
Everything.
Yeah. And this also, you're going to look at the.
That's not a realtor's job, though. It's not our job.
No, it's not our job, but we could.
That.
we can give you the number to call. Where do you?
Okay. Yes.
Some people don't know what. I mean, do you ever have anyone answer the phone?
If you have a good realtor, they're going to tell you need to verify that. I think that's the bottom line.
And is anyone ever answered the phone at the city?
Yes. Nowadays, they're very efficient.
Wow.
They're crazily efficient.
In
Chicago.
In Chicago. And in Des Plaines, I just call my alderman, and then the house next door gets knocked down because it's an eyesore. But that's another whole subject. What was I going to say? The roof, the plumbing, the HVAC. If you don't have air conditioning in the units, that's okay. You don't have to spend $50,000 put air conditioning in. You can buy some really cool window units now in Chicago, especially. You really only need them 4 months out of the year. So really the heating system is a way...
Unless you have a tenant that raises the heat up to unbelievable levels below you, which is what I suffered through January to March. But I would say this too. You can go to Apt and other companies now, and Four Seasons, HVAC, they have amazing financing. Right. So if you want to install HVAC units in the whole building, tear out old boilers, I like to start with a blank slate. Yeah. I gutted the whole building, new electrical, new plumbing, new HVAC, new windows, new everything, and now it's been working for 27 years.
Right. But if you don't have that, you can kind of go, like when I grew up, we didn't have central air, and then my dad had enough money and he put central air.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you put in central air, I'm not renting a place without central air. And a lot of people aren't.
My dad would tell us
higher rent.
We got the breeze from the lake.
It's true.
We were 8 blocks from the lake, but we got the breeze from the lake.
But it's something to consider when you're doing the math.
Right.
And when you do your research on those other rental units with the resources we gave you, you can look and see which ones have HVAC, which ones don't. Right.
Exactly. Reminders to budget for about 2% of the purchase price for unknowns.
Yeah.
That's probably a big thing.
Yes, for sure. And, you just never know, and you're going to want to make some changes and things like that pop up. So always get a full inspection. I think it depends. If it's a brand new place, I guess it's a checkbox. Why would you spend the money on something just built? But
I think always get an inspection.
A lot of these developers are shysters, and you don't know. But the problem is you don't know what's behind the walls. That's really where the magic happens or doesn't happen. The dark magic in some cases. Where they have plumbing that goes up, down, over, and it just clogs all over the place. Right. But, it's good to have a second opinion on that stuff.
Exactly.
It's just budgeted in. So. All right. Now we're going to give you a little scenario of...
we'll run through it quickly because we're long-winded
basically
today.
Another more robust case study on buying a multifamily. So location is an example of somebody who did this recently. In Albany Park, which is north of where we live now.
Right.
Buyer profile, young woman, 29 years old. She's a nonprofit program manager. Mm-hmm. Her property she bought was $475,000, traditional brick 2-flat. Lived in a 2-bedroom ground floor unit initially. Rented out the upstairs 3-bedroom unit for $1,900 a month. So she went for the big money to the renter. Right. Used a City of Chicago down payment assistance grant for first-time buyers, which helped her achieve that goal.
Right.
Putting less down up front, similar to the finance program we talked about with you last week.
Yeah.
What worked? Well, it was a legal 2-flat, so it had no zoning headaches. It had solid brick building, which I love brick. It just is solid, and you don't have settling anywhere near as much as wood.
No.
No major repairs were needed. It was walkable, family-friendly area. Mm-hmm. The neighborhood had easy access to the blue line and the brown line. The upper unit was already tenant occupied, so they had instant rental income out of the gate, right, which is just terrific. And hopefully they like the tenants. But if you don't, you replace them, right? That's
when
the flexibility you have, right? And they had separated utilities. So it simplified tenant management. They paid all their utilities. You don't have anything to do with that.
Right.
If they get the water shut off or the electrical, that's their issue. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Now, the wins on her side were she replaced, her $1,600 a month rent with $1,900 a month in income. Her total housing costs dropped to under $500 a month. She began building equity instead of paying a landlord and gained landlord experience without taking out a massive rehab project. What was her challenge?
Her challenge is required to learn quickly about local landlord and tenant laws. I think that's really important that, you can learn that you could pull those up on your own before you even buy something to understand.
Yeah, they're standard through the city.
Yeah, throughout the city.
Des Plaines will have different rules than
But I mean, in
little
general,
suburbs will have different rules.
it's like if you want to evict somebody, if something's not working,
there's Illinois-based laws, but
Yeah.
they're very specific to your city. So you
Right.
should look at your city's
look at your
requirements.
city you're doing. The older buildings still needed like tuck point, electrical, upgraded electrical panel, and within the first year, budgeting was tight in the first 6 months, but the grant reimbursement was until the grant reimbursement was fully applied.
Yeah, so it costs you, again, put away 1% to 2% for those costs. And then as you get through the 6 months of doing those changes, finding out the little, problems with the property you wouldn't know by not living there.
Right.
And you get it taken care of. So basically, many older buildings in the city of Chicago are, non-code compliant. So always verify the zoning, find out what somebody built 50 years ago, especially the really beautiful old ones like mine. You couldn't believe what was going on in my building. I tore it all out, so I didn't have to deal with any of that. Even turnkey buildings may require capital reserves for deferred maintenance.
Right.
So, you're going to have some maintenance that you're going to have to deal with. And then it's crucial to work with brokers and lenders who understand the nuances of a 2 to 4 unit, the financing, the zoning, and the rental underwriting.
Exactly.
So get on top of that. All right. So now we're going to the little Q&A. We're running a little long, so we'll cut through this pretty quick.
Yeah.
How do you estimate rent for the other units? Use Zillow or apartments.com or something like that as a resource. Yeah. Pull up, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, whatever the case is, HVAC. You'll find somewhere rents and build a little spreadsheet, and look at it and see how much revenue you're going to be getting in. They're paying their own utilities, so you don't need to worry about that.
Exactly.
Put in a small budget for yourself. Identify if you can Airbnb the units. This is a whole nother section we'll have to get into.
Right.
Depends on your city and what their requirements are, but you'll get much higher rent. $3,000 a month in high demand areas. I'm getting right now more than that.
What are you getting?
$3,800.
Wow.
Yeah, but I paid. You have to pay for the trade-offs,
right?
Or that you pay for the furnishing. So
is that like
I paid $15,000. This is 5 years ago. What is that like? What
is that? With the guy with the heat?
Yeah, well, I built that into the clause, so he theoretically needs to pay me for that heat.
Oh, he still has to pay.
I put a clause in the Airbnb that if you go over the regular usage, you could be billed back.
Oh.
Now he's a nice guy. I probably won't bill him back, but if there was somebody else in there that was just being disrespectful, apparently he just was born, he's comfortable in the womb where it's like 90 degrees. So I'm going to let that pass on him, but anyway.
He's comfortable.
He was very comfortable. He's there 9 months, so, you get used to that.
Oh, my God. Okay, go on.
Can you buy it with a friend is the other question. Sorry. They just pop up. I don't know what to do. I have to say them. No filter. Can you buy it with a friend? You could do LLCs or tenant in common agreement with your friends. And this will help you split it. So if you and a friend want to get into it,
right.
Owning a building together can be difficult sometimes.
Right. I think if you want to do it, maybe not a friend, some investor that you want to get in. You could do it with a friend, but I don't know. I've seen it go both ways.
Right. It could go. The point is, it could go another way, which is not to your benefit.
Not
So
to your
think
benefit.
long and hard. You know, having a little agreement nowadays with ChatGPT, write up a clause or something. Draft up an agreement. Definitely don't just do it. Oh, we're all best friends. We're going to work it out. It's not going to go that way. So when it gets
comfortable.
So, especially if one's more comfortable in the womb and they crank the heating like that on you, you're going to definitely not want them in your house for long. So,
okay.
Oh, it's killing me. All right. All right. What?
Go ahead.
What other questions might there be? Oh, shit. Okay. Some of the comments are, I wish I knew how important separating utilities were. Again, back to the boom boy. I understand the time to manage. I underestimate the time to manage repairs. That's why I gut rehab the whole place. So you have to decide where you want to go and what you're going to have to do, or you're going to have to just pay money out of your pocket. If you're doing some of these things, you're going to be fine. You're making plenty of money from the tenants. You'll be okay. Your biggest win, lock in a 3.5% rate with the FHA loan, and now you're good to go.
Alrighty. Oh, I'm having a hot flash.
Not the menopause again. Oh, God. Turn on that AC mic.
Okay.
All right. Let's wrap it up. We're almost through it.
We're almost there. Oh, my God.
So key takeaways. Multifamily is a powerful entry point into real estate investing. And, rather than renting, I highly recommend getting into this.
Right.
It's a great way to go. There's a little work, but you can manage it, especially based on your profits. If your profits are decent, you can hire the people to come in and do the work that you need to get done.
Exactly.
Know your building type, the layout, and the financing options that you have before you call the realtors, because we don't want to drive around looking at fantasies. I have a customer doing that to me now. I'm like, please stop, Rich.
Please stop calling me Rich.
I love you, but until we have financing, it's going to be tough.
Right.
And then run the numbers before touring.
Run the numbers.
Okay. Run your numbers. Know what you can afford. Don't put yourself into a stress situation.
No.
You don't want to go through that. You don't want to lose your property, God forbid.
Right.
And that's, in our friend's case, Mark, he was really looking at losing that property at some point. So it turned around. Luckily, he got through it, but you don't need to be put in that situation.
No, that's a lot of stress.
Just wait a little bit longer, buy a better building. People get freaked out when they're looking at these buildings. They're like, oh, this is the one. Guess what? There's another 100 on the market next month.
Yeah.
So don't be, and the same thing with single families, by the way. I see all these residential realtors running around and they're chicken with their head. Oh, we got to win this. We got to buy this house. Oh, it's the greatest house ever. I mean, come on. Give it a break.
Right.
There's houses every month coming out, and you don't need to run around frantic. I know schools and stuff are very competitive. I just never have been like that.
I don't either.
But some people are, and it gets too much drama into the process. That's why I'm commercial. If you want calm, level-headed, come head my direction. And this isn't just a home. It's your first investment in investment-generating asset, income-generating asset. It's a great legacy to leave behind for your family as well.
Exactly.
So it's a great way to go. So, thank you for listening.
We hope sorry about my laughing outburst, but I just had a picture of the man in the womb, and I couldn't get past it.
It was a fun episode.
What are we going to talk about next time?
That's a good question. We have a multifamily mini session, which we're considering adding things on here, but I think the next session's up for grabs at this point. We'll figure it out next week.
Stay tuned. Don't you want to do our sign-off line?
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't need 20 doors to build wealth. Just start with one, plus a neighbor or two, which could be your friends also, by the way.
Right.
It works out great. You make money, and you have a fun little environment.
Right.
So
it'll be fun.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
We'll see you next time.
Look for us on all the podcast services. Like us, friend us, send in your questions and your comments.
We're on YouTube, Spotify.
And we'll
Facebook.
be expanding as we go. So thanks so much. And
We'll see you
have a great
soon.
evening.